Yeah, that's about right.
Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on MisplacedStraws.com, where music comes to life. As we continue to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the passing of the legendary Ronnie James Dio, we're also celebrating the re-release of the Appice Brothers tribute track, Monsters and Heroes. And I'm thrilled to welcome back to the site the legendary Carmine Appice. Welcome, Carmine.
Hey, how you doing, Jeff? Nice to see you again.
Doing great. You as well. And I talked with your brother actually earlier today, and you guys originally recorded the track back on your Sinister album in 2017.
Right.
But talk a little bit about the experience of doing a lockdown version of the video where everybody in the band is in their own homes.
Well, Vinny told you his idea how it came about, but you know, everybody else has a studio where I don't, you know, and so I did my performance directly on my iPhone, and you got the audio and the video was on the iPhone, and then when we gave it to Artie, he took my drums off the video somehow and stuck it in Pro Tools, and that way he was able to work with it and compress it and do a little EQing, and so mine and Vinny's drums sounded similar, you know, but not similar in a way of just recording, but not, you know, in sound or nothing. And so the other guys did theirs. They recorded their song and videoed it, but they had to, you know, going through a board and all that stuff. I never did that. So we were, you know, like working on that, and then we actually got the audio mix a few times, and me and Vinny critiqued it and sent it back. So we got to do this or that, and then once we got the actual mix, it was awesome, you know. And then Artie, our guitar player, did the video, and I was really, really ultra surprised when I saw it. And I was very pleased with it because, you know, a lot of these things actually Kodiak just sent me their lockdown video, and mostly their video was everybody, you know, playing their instruments, and a couple of times it switched. But what ours, as you can see, it follows the music. It's really, really a cool way to do it. It actually opened up my eyes to maybe when we do this next Cactus record that we're mixing right now, and we do the video, I might do the video like that, you know, and just have the screens of the screens themselves moving around, you know, so it gives the energy of the audio track to the video.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool look.
It's a lot of movement, you know.
And the song itself, if I'm not mistaken, was originally intended for a King Cobra record. How did it end up being recorded, you know, on the record you did with your brother?
Well, we did it with King Cobra, but we always intended not to put it on a King Cobra album.
Okay.
You know, because we had done the album, so we gave it to Wendy Dio, right? We gave it to her for the Ronnie Dio Cancer Fund, okay? And then they had it for about 5 years, and all the money that was made from the downloads or whatever went to the Cancer Fund. And then I got the song back. And in 2016, we went to Europe, and we played the Sweden Rock Festival with King Cobra. We actually recorded that song live, and we got the whole audience singing it, you know, and it was really awesome. So when I came back, it was on my mind, and I said to Vinny, I said, look, why don't you listen to the if you like it. If you do, you know, let's put you on the King Cobra track. So, you know, I managed Ronnie and Wendy, and Ronnie produced 2 Rough Cut albums, you know, so he was very close to Ronnie. And, you know, so Vinny heard it and liked it, so we put Vinny on the track, and it became the biggest track on the album.
Well, that's great. I didn't really know the history of it, so and how Paul Sortino got involved.
Here's another tidbit for you. The song itself wasn't going to be Ronnie. It was going to be Monsters and Heroes. I don't know how old you are, but when we were kids, we had the Mummy, Frankenstein, the Werewolf, and And they used to have these like comic books about it, and they used to have and like you go to a toy store and you could buy Frankenstein dolls, and so those are the monsters and the heroes we were going to write about.
And it just took on a whole new life.
Yeah, and then Paul came in one day and said, I think I want to change it to a song about Ronnie. I said, what do you mean? He says, some heroes, dragons, and rainbows in the dark. I said, wow, that's a cool idea. So then he wrote the whole song. The lyrics, changed all the lyrics to that vibe, and then we recorded it. And when it came out, we listened to it. I said, wow, what a great song. It's a great song dedicated to Ronnie. So we've had, a lot of dedications to Ronnie with that song.
Yeah, and now your brother played most of his career with Ronnie. Did you have a relationship with him?
Well, I knew him before Vinny was playing with him because he played with Elf.
Right.
And I was in L.A. at the time, and they were in L.A. for a few weeks, and they opened up for Deep Purple. So I got to know him there. And then I was asked to join Rainbow, and I couldn't do it. And Ronnie was in the band. So, we talked about that back in those days. And when Vinny joined with Sabbath, he got to know me. And Ronnie was just moving to L.A. And so we used to hang out a little bit. But then when he joined Dio, together, that's when we really got closer because he lived in L.A. He was from Wendy, and he had no family out there. So we had a family gathering. Ronnie came, and we had parties. Ronnie came. He had a party. We went to his parties, and it was like that. Even I got married one time. He threw a party for me, and when I did get married, he had a wedding. I've been since divorced from that woman, but he was around a lot, and we hung out a lot. And all the Fudge record, and we rehearsed in the same place that Dio was rehearsing. We had a lot of fun together.
Well, that's great. I didn't realize that you had such a relationship with him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. In the hospital before we were all in the hospital with him, and I said to my brother, he looks like my father. When he was getting ready to pass away, and the next day Ronnie passed. Then there was the funeral home, seeing him in the coffin. It was awful.
Yeah, it's never an easy thing,
Yeah.
But let's get to a couple other parts of your career as well. Everyone knows Do You Think I'm Sexy, but you and Rod Stewart had a lot of big records together outside of that, including my favorite, Tonight I'm Yours.
Right.
Was it the Jeff Beck connection that led you to Rod Stewart? How did that first meet?
No. Jeff and Rod were enemies at that time when I joined Rod. As a matter of fact, I brought them together again.
Oh, really?
When we happened to be in the same hotel in Australia, and I went up to see Jeff, and I said, why don't you come to the show? He said, no, Rod wouldn't want me there. But I said, Rod, Jeff's in a hotel. Why don't you come see us? Okay with you? He thinks you wouldn't want him there. He said, yeah. So he came backstage, and they got back together again. But I knew Rod from the group, and then when I was a cat, he toured with Rod and the Faces. We did 30 or 40 shows with him, so we got to know him there, and his tour manager. And my friend Sandy Gennaro lived in L.A., and I met him on the street one day. He's a drummer. I said, hey, Sandy, how you doing? And I was just finishing this group called KGB with Mike Bloomfield, which didn't go well. And he said, I'm doing good. I said, what are you up to? He said, well, I just auditioned for Rod, but I didn't get it. I said, oh, too bad. He said, you should try it. I said, well, who'd you call? He gave me the number. I looked at it. I said, oh, Pete Buckler, and I know him. He's my friend. He's the tour manager of the Faces. We had a lot of great times together. So I called him, and I said, Rod's looking for a drummer. You don't call me? And he said, oh, you're always busy. So I said, well, I'm not busy now. I'd love to play with Rod. And then little by little, I went and checked out the band. I knew a couple of the guys in the band, and Rod was in Europe. He came back. We played together, and he said, "You got the gig if you want it." I said, "Yeah, I love it." He said, "I'll give you a solo every night." And that's when I changed my name from Appice to Appice. Because
really?
Yeah, because everyone had a different pronunciation for my name.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "You'd like 5 different people. And why don't you pick one way to say it? How do most people say it?" I said, "Most people say Appice." He said, "Well, why don't we go with that?" I said, "Fine." And then Ludwig did an ad, said everyone wants a piece of Appice. It was in all the rock magazines around the world. And that was it. And then when Vinny came out with Sabbath, as Appice, he confused everybody.
Yeah, that's been confusing ever since, but it's cool to get the story.
Everybody's confused. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and we mentioned King Cobra a bit, and it's an extremely underrated band. I mean, you and John Rock made it such a powerful rhythm section.
Yep, I agree.
Why do you think that band never got the recognition of other bands?
I know exactly why. Because when we signed with Capitol Records, we signed with Spencer Proffa behind us, and the guy that used to do the A&R and all the radio promotions, he was promoted to A&R. He didn't do radio promotions, and that whole period that we were with them, they didn't break any bands because they didn't have this guy working radio, right? And then a second album came out, and we had a 2-album deal, and it did okay, but it didn't do what we wanted it to do still. And then Capitol Records realized it was because of this guy. Mm-hmm. So they moved him back to radio. And the next band they signed and released was, what the hell is that band? With CeCe DeVille.
Poison.
Yeah. And they were horrible. But we played gigs with them, and they took a lot of our image. With the three black-haired guys with the blondes and everything else, and the clothes, and and then they got big, and we were like left in the dust. Yeah. So that's what happened.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've been asked a million times about Blue Murder. I mean, that first record's the stuff of legend. I mean, have you heard anything from John Sykes over the years?
I talk to him now and again.
Together?
No, it's done. No, forget it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We almost had it. We almost had it together, and he came up with some idea that he wanted to play John Sykes and Blue Murder. He wanted to play all his new stuff. I said, "Dude, that's not Blue Murder. I don't want to do that." So I said, "You need to do it yourself." So I thought he was doing it. I met him last year at the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame in L.A., and he said him and Tony were going to go out as the new band as Sykes, and he had a new drummer, a little black kid that wanted to meet me, and I said, "Yeah, I'll meet him." I met him, and he was supposed to have the new record deal and go out last year. I said, "Good. When you're done with all that and you get it out of your system, then we can do Blue Murder." And he said, "Okay." And then that never happened. He had a problem with the record label. The record never came out. And Tony just said, another John Sykes thing. It just never happened. So nothing happened. And that's the end of it.
Well, and speaking of mercurial guitarists like John Sykes, you were also supposed to do something with Vinnie Vincent a year or so ago.
Oh, that was...
what if we went out with that?
Oh, who the hell knows? I don't even know. The guy that put it together hired us and paid us a deposit, and then Vinny kept changing stuff, and he's an idiot. He was a troublemaker when I played with him in my band, Carmine and the Rockers. He blew everything. We had a record deal in Brew, and because of him, he blew it. I
never realized you guys had a band in the past.
I did, 1980. Vinny Casano, his name was.
Yeah.
And when the Kiss guys got him in the band, they called me and asked me what happened with it. I said, "Dude, he's a troublemaker, And guess what? He made big trouble for Kiss too."
Yeah, that's for sure. And one thing in your career that I don't think you've ever received enough credit for is all the work you do with kids and young musicians. I mean, whether it's books or videos or clinics, what has always driven you to kind of pass your knowledge on to younger musicians?
I always taught. I always gave lessons all my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a drum school in New York and Long Island, 1971, 72, 73. I had 60 students a week. Bobby Rondinelli was one of the students, and Joe Franco, and a few other guys. The guy that originally played in Beatle Maiden was one of the students. And, you know, it's just something I always did. Then I started doing clinics. I read the drum book, and that did well, and that enticed more clinics. And did symposiums. I did my own, like, rock fantasy camp in 1982, you know, and I took the clinic to the extreme. I took it on the road, you know, clinic tours and with roadies and effects, and made it fun, you know. But that's all over now because the music stores are dead.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same anymore. But, I mean, there are still a couple young bands. You mentioned Kodiak earlier on.
No, music stores. Music stores.
Stores. Oh, okay.
Music stores,
yeah. That's
because they're the ones that sponsored the clinics. They sponsored all that, you know.
Mm. You know, but I know you're working with young band Kodiak. Any other bands, young bands you're working with? Any of them have any stuff coming out?
Another one called Chains Over Razors I was working with, but they're from Chicago, and I didn't have a lot of time for them, so I put them out on my label, you know, just to get them out. And now they're working on a second record, and you know, I've been starting to listen to it, but I said, look, let me finish getting this deal for Kodiak before I can start working on something else, you know. So, but they're good. They're like a Metallica, but they're only three pieces. They're brothers, a guitar and drums, and they have no bass player, and they have a singer. So it's a unique kind of band.
Is that something you like doing, is finding these young bands and kind of helping them find their own footing and get going?
Well, you know, I don't go out looking for them. Let's put it that way. Somehow I end up getting the count. But I do a lot of them. There's another band named Lizard in Europe that I tried to help. I put them out on my label, too. They're a really good band. I met this female drummer at a clinic in Europe, and I liked her, and then she started, you know, showing me what she was doing, and so we did that. Now, like, they just sent me a contract they're about to sign with the band. They wanted my take on it, you know, so I helped them a little bit. Yeah, but you know, if I can help somebody, I help them. You know, it's like we did with Led Zeppelin when they opened up for us. You know, we helped them. You know.
Yeah, and it worked out pretty well for those guys.
Yeah, it worked out good for them.
and I mean, we've only scratched the surface of what you've done. You've literally played with everybody. I mean, is there anyone now where you look back and say, like, you know, I should have taken that gig, or I wish I ended up playing on that record?
I should have taken the Rainbow gig, and I should have taken the gig to do that big Whitesnake album, which I couldn't do because I was doing King Cobra. And, you know, I would like to have played with Jeff Beck in the Blow by Blow stuff because I turned him on to that. And
it's my favorite record ever.
And I was involved in that record. I played on 5 tracks.
Really? You know, what did you play on that record?
No, but he took me off because we couldn't work out a deal.
Oh, no.
We couldn't work out a deal, but I got screwed out of writing. Like that song Scatterbrain starts with a drum groove. That was me. That was my drum groove. The guy they brought in copied all my stuff I did. You know, and I was really pissed off. I was going to sue Jeff, but I thought it'd be better to have him as a friend than an enemy. And now we have a BBA Live record from 1974 we mixed 2 years ago that maybe we'll see the light of day. And if it does, that would have been worthwhile not suing him because it's really some great playing. It's got 7 new songs on it, too. So.
Oh, really? Now, new as in recorded now, or new as in never released before?
No, the whole album was live in 1974. You know, so these are new songs that were going to be on a second album that we recorded that didn't go well with the album, but we thought it would go better live, so we did them live, and they were great live, and the audience reacted to them live, so we thought we'd record them live, so we did, but it never came out. Because, you know, just a lot of BS going on back there between Jeff and Tim. and our managers and lawyers and Vanilla Fudge, and Tim wouldn't sign off on things, so that's when I split up with Tim. It's all in my book.
Yep. And by the way, your book is a fantastic read. Definitely encourage anyone to go on your website. I know you have 5 copies there. And, it's worth the read. Like I said, you've played with everybody. And I've been blessed to have a really good career, and I had the ups and downs, working with weird people, and working with great people. Like I said, like out of all the people, like Rod Stewart, who should have had the biggest ego and attitude, was one of the best to work with. Well, that's always good to hear. That when you hear about someone actually being a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, who wrote the intro to my book?
True. Very true.
Rod Stewart.
Yeah. And now, as everything is kind of on hold at the moment, as the world is sort of just kind of waiting to see what happens. But once things do get back up and running and some type of touring comes back, what do you see as your next project?
Well, we're mixing a new Cactus record right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that's
great.
Coming out, and our manager, who manages Pat Travis, Rick Derringer, is working on a tour with Cactus, Rick Derringer, and Pat Travis.
Oh, that'd be
and then he's working on. Everybody has individual albums coming out on Cleopatra Records, and then he's trying to do a record where all 3 acts do one album together. Like maybe each of us do 3 blues songs a piece, and then we do 3 blues songs together.
Oh wow, that's a great idea.
And then if the whole thing comes out and tours, and you have one label supporting all the stuff, And then we got a new deal for Vanilla Fudge, and it's going to be called Supreme Fudge. We're going to do 5 Vanilla Fudge Supreme songs, and 3 R&B and a couple of 2 or 3 originals. So we've been working on that, and then the virus hit, and we got a record deal, and we got a deposit from the label to show that they were serious about it. So when it opens up, we'll get to doing that.
Well, we definitely look forward to it.
Next year. Yeah, so I'll be finishing the Cactus record, and maybe doing that record with the 3 of us are working together, And
sounds like you'll be kept busy when the world opens up again.
Yeah, no capitals. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I'm getting a haircut now. The woman's looking at my pictures on my computer.
Well, Carmine, thank you so much. Again,
that's right. I never did an interview while getting a haircut before.
It's the first time for everything. Well, that was Carmine Appice, and the new song is called Monsters and Heroes. You can get it everywhere now. Its video is on YouTube. And Carmine, thanks a lot for your time.